In this short video, I want to make a prediction about UOL, right? UOL never forgives. UOL never forgets. UOL, it never forgives and it never forgets. In our society, we have this large and growing group of single women who even mention in my comment section, like, men who are older than me. They say they've been trying to get married, trying to date and all that, and the women simply never wanted any commitment. None at all. And now it's a situation worse than imaginable. Because I often say that women are waiting until they're 35 to want to get married and have kids at 35. But now I'm hearing accounts that it's worse, much worse than imaginable. They think they're going to get married and have kids at 40, between 40 and 45. As if their uterus still worked properly, as if they still had good eggs. And as if any man would want to marry and have children with a woman over 40. I don't even think men really want to have sex with a 40-year-old woman. If there's no effort, no commitment at all, like he just goes there, has sex for a bit, hooks up with a MILF here and there, and that's it. But to actually get married and have kids, especially a man who's never been married and never had children, that's a level of schizophrenia, of absurd alienation. But anyway, the specific exercise and demonstration I'm going to do in this video is intended to serve as more of a detailed future prediction. What I'm going to say is this: these women who ended up single, who never got married, never had kids, they're the kind of women who... We know that women can't be minimalists, they can't save money. Everything they get, they spend. They're extremely consumerist. These are women who are going to keep living this so-called independent life, in quotes, right? The daughters of female empowerment, of sexual liberation. They're going to have to work for the rest of their lives. And here's the thing about it, man. The simple fact that they have never actually gotten married yet. Even if they did get married and divorced, never had kids. Here's the thing, there's no one to take care of them. Whether physically, emotionally, or financially. They will never have any man in their lives to take care of them. Like they're basically doomed to loneliness for the rest of their lives. Like nobody wants them. It's like milk that's been left out of the fridge and has gone bad. So, the thing is, for example, even if a woman marries a man, even if they don't have kids and the marriage ends, you were married to that person. It's a relationship that stays with you for the rest of your life. It's someone with whom you have such an intimate connection that you know if you ever need something, that person will help you in whatever way they can. And if they ever need something, you'll help them too. And there's another thing. During the time a woman is married to a man, even after they separate, she gets an incredible amount of support. She can accumulate a significant amount of capital from that. She has access to the guy's provision. These women who never got married and never had children, they won't have that provision, they won't have that support, that accumulation of capital, they won't have that connection for the rest of their lives, even after the end of a marriage. And if they didn't have sons or daughters, there also won't be anyone to take care of them because, especially in the case of couples who were married, got divorced and had children, the children are a bond that remains for that couple for the rest of their lives. Both the man and the woman, they have this assurance that they have children, and if they ever need anything, the children will help, and so on. So these women who ended up alone, they didn't have support. Well, they had some from the government, but not in terms of relationships. They don't have those lifelong connections. They don't have any man in their lives, or even a daughter, a woman. There's just no one to take care of them. They didn't have support, they weren't able to accumulate capital even during marriage, even through divorce, because after divorce, especially when the children are still young, the woman has access to alimony for 2 decades. So these women didn't have any of that. So the specific prediction that I'm going to make for you right now is this. Throughout the coming years, and perhaps even over the next 2 decades, we are going to see this increasingly large and steadily growing demographic group of stranded women. Consequently, they will become deeply polarized and socially disconnected. And they will become increasingly radicalized. If the PT still manages to stay in power and no other left-wing party with weight and strength emerges, they will increasingly support the PT or any other communist or socialist party that might grow politically in the future. They will become more radicalized and will support more and more communism, more and more socialism. Because they are alone, they have no one to take care of them, and now they will want the government to take care of them. Basically forcing men to keep supporting them indirectly. Those men who rejected them because they had rejected these men when they were young, when they still had something to offer, that is youth, physical appearance, and fertility. So here is a highly detailed and specific prediction that I'm going to make right now. You can be absolutely certain and rest assured that in the very near future and the coming years, these women will demand the creation of what they call an elderly allowance program. They will argue that it is a necessary grant, a vital form of financial aid provided by the government for elderly people who are in significant financial need, living in conditions of extreme poverty and hardship. But just like the Bolsa Familia, this will be something specific, exclusive for elderly women, because when it comes to men, society doesn't care at all. So, look, now, October 2018, I'm making the prediction that women in the future will demand the creation of an elderly allowance so that the government takes care of them in old age with public money in addition to their retirement and everything else, because they don't have no man in their lives, not even an ex-husband, will take care of them. They don't have children who will take care of them. They don't have anyone to look after them. And so, they won't just stay quiet and accept the consequences of their actions and decisions. They won't just stay quiet and accept the future they've created for themselves. So if you currently believe that the intense opposition coming from women, feminists, communists, and socialists is already quite strong, just you wait until we eventually have an even bigger share of single women in our society, living entirely without men, without any stable resources, and facing a very uncertain future ahead of them. It's like that video about the third flingy monkey, about the 3 types of feminists. We have the first type of feminist, who is that young college student who talks about feminism and all that, but she realizes she's still young, still attractive, and she stands to gain more if she marries some guy and has kids, because she knows that a man can take much better care of her and has more to offer her than the government does. And then there's the second group. You have the feminists whose careers are all about politics. Like journalists, politicians, newspaper columnists, political bloggers, YouTubers, feminists, and so on. All that kind of crap. And then we have the third group of feminists, who are the misandrist whales, which is what Third Fling Monkey talked about. Which is a bunch of women who are just too toxic to maintain any relationship with a man. Or they're just too ugly, so there's nothing to be done. It's that kind of ugliness that's both internal and external. And they're all post-wall women. They're post-wall women who didn't know how to market themselves when they were young and attractive and could offer something to a man. And now men don't want anything to do with them, so they turn against society. It's simply that they didn't build any kind of lasting relationship, they didn't commit. And now they have no one to take care of them. They ruined their own future. And now they're going to turn against society, against the men who are now rejecting them, now that their time has passed. So again, people, get ready. I even remember there was an article last year, I think it was from Australia, that was talking about this. So, is it increasing? The number of women, actually not just women, but homeless people. 1 in every 4 homeless people are women, and 3 out of 4 are men. But the article, which was from Australia, it said that we're seeing an increase in the number of elderly women who are living in poverty alone, living in small apartments, never having bought a home, paying rent. And then, when you dig deeper into the issue, you see that it's women who simply decided they didn't want to have children, women who destroyed their own relationships, filed for divorce, women who fell for the empowered feminism narrative. And they got degrees that are useless, like literature, philosophy, those kinds of things, and then say, oh, but I have a master's and a doctorate in literature, and who cares? One of the photos in the article was actually of an Australian woman around 53 or 57 years old alone. And that's it, man. It's a bunch of women who are going to spend their 40s until... I think women's life expectancy is somewhere between 80 and 90, depending on the country. That's how it is, man. 40, 50 years of loneliness. Everyone reaps what they sow. So that's it, guys. Get ready. You think women are polarized, socialist and communist now? Just wait a little longer, when these women who ruined their own future and were rejected by men start demanding that the government take care of them directly in old age. Just wait for the elderly allowance.